Section 23, Claim of Right Made in Good Faith. I had just dropped my reports on the ignorance of the law and was about to step out of the OC Legal's office when I bumped into him. Immediately he stepped into his office. I told him I had dropped my report on the said case on his table. "That's good," he said. Then he pulled me by the hand to his desk, where he made me sit on one of the two cushioned chairs in front of his desk. He handed me another case file, stating that this one needed immediate attention because the suspect in the case was charged for arson, which is a capital offense and as such attracted capital punishment. He pointed out the need for me to attend to the case at once because a charge of arson was before a high court. But the application before the judge forced her to refer the matter back to us to reinvestigate the case with regards to Section 23 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos State 2015, tagged Claim of Right Made in Good Faith. He told me I had 4 days to come up with a report as the case had been adjourned for 6 working days. I grabbed the file and came to attention. I walked out of the office with my face buried in the file. Before I got to my office, I was able to get the facts of the case. The suspect in this matter was actually a billionaire and one of the most influential estate agents in Lagos State, Mr. Ugo Chinemerem, who set ablaze a single-story office complex housing an investment bank, which, from my findings, was running a Ponzi scheme. The said investment bank, called Mironex, was owned by a foreigner. The said investment bank took up an investment and paid 15% interest. As much as the payment to the said investment was legit, most subscribers eventually noticed something was wrong. Some funds were inexplicably missing from their accounts. The EFCC came in and was able to track the missing funds from the bank accounts of most Mironex subscribers back to Mironex. They simply followed the money trail as the money was electronically moved from the subscriber's account to a foreign account that subsequently funded Mironex in a recent transaction. The EFCC invited the owner of Mironex, one Mr. Morpheus, who, the minute he noticed the EFCC was on his trail, quickly relocated back to his country. His embassy was notified of his actions, which was still ongoing, as the accounts of the subscribers were still releasing huge funds to the said foreign accounts. Many subscribers had lost huge sums of money. One particular guy even committed suicide because of the huge amount of money he lost to the company. The only way to stop money from leaving the accounts was to stop putting money into the accounts. This was because the subscribers authorizing their banks to lien their accounts did not stop the transactions from taking place. Their money still left their accounts and was moved even with the lien authorization. Initially, we suspected the banks were colluding with the escaped suspect, but the bank IT conducted their independent investigation, stating that the software Mironex installed was highly sophisticated and could override their local bank's firewalls. The only way to stop the continuous unauthorized transfers was to shut down Mironex's computers. The EFCC moved for application for the court to grant them access to shut down the said computers. The court ruled that Mironex had to be represented, but the irony of the whole thing was that if there was a representative, they would have been arrested and the computers confiscated as exhibits and as such shut down. But the court's stand was that they could not conclude on the matter by simply hearing from one side that even the suspect had the right to defend himself. The matter was adjourned to 2 weeks for EFCC to bring in more evidence. These developments forced the agency to secure Mironex's office from anybody that could cause harm. Well, there was someone who was willing to cause harm, and his name was Mr. Ugo Chinemerem. Mr. Ugo had signed a deal with his foreign investor who had agreed to credit his company account with more than 55 billion naira, an upfront payment to develop an estate somewhere in Lekki. When he got the drift about his account being compromised, he made efforts to stop the transaction. But they told him they had already set the ball in motion. He chose not to give them the full details of his predicament, as that would scare his investors, and he would still lose in the long run. He thought of any rational way to secure the investors' funds. He tried contacting the suspect to bargain with him, but there was no luck there. So he decided to set the building housing the computers ablaze. That was after he had bought the building. Before setting it ablaze, he tried disconnecting the light, but the building had solar backup, which he also disabled. But the computers had inbuilt power systems that could last for God knew how long. And then he was informed that the money would hit his account in the next 24 hours. Mad with desperation, he burnt down the entire building and was able to kill the system before the money hit his account. So the suspect's lawyers charged him for arson. But the question was, since the building now belonged to him, wasn't he entitled to do whatever he wanted with it? And moreover, there was nobody in the building when the incident happened. My report overruled the arson and brought the offense down to malicious damage to property. Then I valued the cost of the computers and other furniture in the office. They were within the range of 150 million naira. My report favored Mr. Ugo, who had lost 800 million naira to the said Mironex destroying device that aided the stealing of his money. Mr. Ugo's aim had been to stop the stealing of 55 billion naira. His action was in good faith to protect his property. I attached his receipt showing he was the owner of the building, as well as his bank statement showing how 800 million naira was moved from his account by the suspect. I also filed his correspondence with his foreign investor, showing they had already authorized the funds transfer.
This work of fiction is a production of COSPEAKS, composed and written by Chidi Okoye, narrated by Ikenna Igwe, sound production by Glaze Entertainment, graphics by Illustroking Creatives, video production by Chachi World Entertainment, video editing by Steveni Beleche Triple Nolly TV, technical support by Kings Media. Thank you for viewing.